what you want, when you want it, where you want it. This is The Mesh.
This is a previously recorded episode of Making Living Better on WHKY, Catawba County, North Carolina's radio source for first-person storytelling.
Time once again for our Making Living Better segment. We've really enjoyed working with Catawba County and their branding for Making Living Better. We've met some really nice folks. And we're going to meet Jennifer Rowan this morning. Good to see you again.
Good morning. Good to see you.
And you were so nice to remind me when you came in, because it's nice because I've gotten to meet a lot of nice folks through the Making Living Better segment and finding out about people who may have moved to the area, who are doing well in the area, who enjoy living around here. And you were kind enough to remind me, you shook my hand, so we've met before, and we had met at a client's location, and we sat and talked for an extended period of time.
We did.
So that's nice because I know you a little bit.
We do, and it makes it much more pleasant.
Good. Well, so nice to see you again. When we first of all, we'll tell folks, because we know each other a little bit. Let's tell folks a little bit about you. You're originally from California?
Yes, from Southern California, born and raised.
Right.
Moved here about 6.5 years ago.
Right.
Took a big risk, kind of on a whim. We were out here visiting Big Sig, Dennis and Sherry's store, which they're the reason why we're out here.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Did not know that.
I knew them from California.
Okay, so you were at Big Sig. That's where we met. That's where we talked. Might as well go ahead and just...
Yeah, absolutely.
Full disclosure. So you met them, and then you came out, and it was like you all bought like a house in no time, right?
We did.
It was like that weekend or something?
It was that weekend. We were staying with Dennis and Sherry. We just decided to look at properties. I don't have any other reason other than gut feeling. We felt it.
You found the right one. You found the right one. So and then so you packed up and you moved here, and it almost on a whim. But the good thing is that you had a job that you could work, if not from home, but in a region or an area, because you were working in sales, right?
Yeah, I've been in sales for a long time, and that was our one constant that we had. My husband completely quit his job.
Right.
And came out here and actually ended up finding a great new career. But for me, being in sales, I could go pretty much anywhere. I thought it was interesting because I went through the fine folks at Catawba County, Amy and Paul, are kind enough to provide us with a little pre-interview information. And I liked the fact that you said, if you're not working at Catawba County, it's because you don't want to work. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. If you're going to take a risk and quit your jobs and sell everything you own and move across country, you better do it to Catawba County. That's the only advice I can give you.
Because and I also like the fact that you made the comment here in the kind of pre-interview that you can carve out just about any type of life that you want in Catawba County. And that really is absolutely true. It was so nice to hear you say that before. And as I was going over this, I didn't know that we had met or talked before. Yeah. But the fact that when you come to Catawba County, and you literally were able to do that, you were able to create the type of life that you wanted right here in Catawba County.
That's exactly what we did. We had a vision of what we wanted our life to look like. Because of the cost of living here, we could create that.
Right.
We knew we wanted to become parents. I knew I wanted to be able to stay home with our kids. We wanted to travel more. We wanted a cultural experience. So here we are, and we've become parents. We travel up and down the East Coast. Charlotte is a hop, skip, and a jump. We have season tickets down to Blumenthal.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. It's great. It's fantastic.
Season tickets to Blumenthal. Good. This is something I didn't know that I'll have to ask you about off the air. Let's talk a little bit about the things that mean a lot to you here in this area, because there's so much to talk about with you. But one of the things is, because we talked about this when we first met, and that's adoption. You said you wanted to be a parent, and you started as a foster parent. I was adopted at a very young age. I don't know how many people know this, but I was adopted like when I was 1. But you said you wanted to be parents, and part of that process was becoming a foster parent, right?
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about that, because you're very passionate about wanting people to, if they can, and if they're in that situation, to be foster parents. You see a big need for that in our area.
There is a huge need. And when we moved here, we didn't realize how large the need was. But we started working with DSS, with Family Builders here in Catawba County.
Family Builders, great group, right?
Absolutely. We had a lot of questions, and we found out a lot of really neat things that we didn't know. For instance, it doesn't cost anything to become a foster parent. It doesn't cost anything to adopt through the country, or the county, I should say. They train you for everything. We didn't know what that looked like for us, but we knew we wanted to do it. When we went into it, we went in saying, boy, girl, newborn to 18 years old, we don't know what this is going to look like. And It ended up looking like 2 boys. And it was the perfect match for us.
I think that's fantastic. And from what I understand, one of them now has just gone off to college or is going to be going off to college?
He is at college right now.
He's at college right now.
He is.
So that was an older child
Yes.
that you adopted. And I know in my, because we talked about this up at Big Sigs, that it's people who may be thinking about adoption or fostering, it's not like it's with my spiritual journey. I knew that God put me with the right person at the right place. That's my mom, and it's the same with. And you've got a situation where I think, from what I understand, that they were actually sometimes in touch with the birth parents.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, their birth family, not the parents, but other parts of the family, are still a really big part of our lives, and we enjoy it.
I guess that's siblings and so forth.
And aunt and grandma.
An aunt and a grandma.
Yeah.
So now you have 2 boys. Now, is the other one related? Are they siblings?
They're biological brothers.
The biological brothers. So that's got to be great. So they were able to experience that. They were able to have that part of it.
Yeah, and they're older, so it did look a little different than it would if you were adopting a newborn.
Right.
We talk about it probably a lot more than I think other families do because clearly they know they were adopted.
Right.
But it's okay. I think there's a lot of misconceptions around adopting older children. And the unfortunate reality is here and everywhere in the United States, many of these children end up in group homes because I think there's a lot of fear in taking on an older child. No one knows what that really is going to look like for them.
But it looked great for y'all, right?
Yeah. I feel like the bumps in the road we've had were pretty similar to any other family. Raising a teenager is not easy by any means.
Right, sure.
I haven't met one person that said, oh, yeah, that was easy. My teenager was great.
Right.
Very typical. We didn't have any struggles that every other family doesn't have.
But that's part of what you found in Catawba County is you were able to come here and you wanted to be parents, you wanted to have that family situation, and Catawba County gave that to you.
Absolutely. We could do it here. In California, to be frank, the cost of living just didn't allow me to stay home. That could not happen. And that was something very important to us. And here we could do it, and we could do it without worry.
I think that's a wonderful thing. So you were able to do that. That's part of what you were able to do that you wanted to do. Yes. Another part of that, aside from the family, is the fact that you were able to, because of the lifestyle and because of where you live and what's going on with career and with family, is that you're able to do something, and that's to be able to work with the rescue animals and dogs. And when I saw in here that you were a dog lover, kind of to the max, I was like, well, I look forward to meeting Miss Rowan because this is the kind of person I'd like to have. You got a lot of rescues. You adopted some rescues, and you also foster. Let's talk a little bit about that and your love of animals and how that kind of plays into what's going on in Catawba County.
So I always tell people I've been a dog lover since day one. When I was a kid, I said my dream is to have 1 million dogs, and at the rate I'm going, I think I'm going to make it.
Maybe not all at one time, but you're going to go through 1 million of them.
Dream achieved.
Right.
I'm a foster for Happy Tails Rescue, which is a local rescue here in Catawba County.
Okay.
They're just like kids. There's a big need here to take in animals from the shelter. Another thing we do is we take in litters of puppies if the people will allow us to spay their mother dog to prevent future overpopulation.
Right.
It can be a little crazy at times. Right now I have a litter of puppies at my house and another foster, and I have 7 of my own dogs.
Wow. So, yeah, you're on your way to 1 million pretty quickly.
I'm going to make it.
So you've got 7 dogs of your own, big, small?
2 that would be considered big. The rest are small.
Right.
Which I feel like 5 small really adds up to 1 big. Because we're talking like around the 10-pound mark.
Right. So you got 7 there.
Yes.
You're fostering 1.
Fostering 1 and a litter of puppies.
And then a litter of puppies.
Which I guess the secret's out on the radio now. They're staying in my son's room while he's at college. He doesn't know that.
So when he comes home for college.
He's going to find out.
That's right. So you're able to foster, so you love doing it. Obviously, you love dogs. And that's another opportunity that you're able to do here. And you were able to plug in with a rescue, and you were able to do some things like that make your life better.
Absolutely. And part of plugging in with that rescue is the support in the community. The vets that we use are here in Catawba County. All our fosters are here in Catawba County. Some are a little bit out of the area.
Right.
Most of our fundraising is done here in Catawba County. There is a huge need. There's also a huge support here for it.
Now, the name of the rescue is, let's do a commercial real quick for the
absolutely.
rescue.
Happy Tails Rescue.
Happy Tails Rescue.
You can find us on Facebook.
Okay.
Happy Tails Rescue in Maiden.
Very good. Happy Tails Rescue in Maiden. If you're interested in helping with the pet population, contact them and let them know that you're a friend of Jennifer Rowan's.
Absolutely.
Just tell them that you've heard Jennifer and you want to help out. So when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about your time here in Catawba County.
Sounds good.
More First Talk right after this.
Catawba County has great people who do nice things for each other.
Catawba County also has amazing schools with teachers who make learning fun.
We also have lakes, which makes fishing, boating, and family time a breeze.
If you want a beautiful place to live with amazing opportunities, then come over to Catawba County.
Catawba County, making living better.
Learn more at makinglivingbetter.com.
Good morning. Welcome back to First Talk with Hal Rowe on WHKY Talk Radio for the Greater Hickory Metro. Jennifer Rowan, our guest this morning for our Making Living Better segment. We work with Catawba County on letting you know about Catawbans in the area who are making living better. Ms. Rowan, of course, from Southern California, came to the area, carved out her life, hit the nail on the head when she moved to Maiden, was able to adopt, was able to have a family, and was able to work with a rescue that she wanted to work with, a dog person, and really make a huge move from one physical and geographical area of the country in an attitudinal, I guess is the way that's a difference of being here. And you like it. You like the fact that that you got neighbors that you know, right?
Oh, absolutely.
It's a community.
I love that I know so many people in my town. I love that my son can play in our yard and I don't have to watch over him. I mean, in California, even when I was young, I couldn't be outside by myself. There's just a freedom in living in a small, close-knit community that you don't find other places.
And this is Maiden, of course. You're in Maiden.
Is.
And you know someone who I know, again, not just Big Sigs, Dennis and Sherry, but Asia May.
Absolutely.
Was here on the program with us. Mm-hmm. And you know her. You, as a matter of fact, you checked me out. You did a little research. You found out you were going to be here. So what's it like? A
little reconnaissance mission.
Good.
She was right. She didn't mislead me. It is absolutely fun.
Good.
And
we want it to be fun.
Yeah. And I know her because actually I'd been wanting a coffee shop forever in Maiden. And when we got one, I got so excited. I'm a coffee person.
Right.
So when I did my Making Living Better interview, we had it at her shop.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So that's neat. So it's all, we got all these connections working here this morning. So very cool.
That's the story of Maiden, connections.
Yeah. And you're absolutely right. You said in this interview that when you first came here and met people and talked with folks, that they would say, well, where are you from? Where do you live? What do you do? And you were like, why are you asking me that question? And now you realize that it's kind of that mindset is that it's because it is. It's not because they want to rob your house when you're not there. It's because that you do have that sense of community.
Yes, it's because they care. It's because they genuinely want to know about your life and get to know you. And at first it was different, but it wasn't off-putting. It was just different. And
right.
Now I find that I'm one of those people. So where do you live?
Right.
What are you doing? When someone new comes in to church or school or anywhere, where are you from? You just strike up that conversation so you can make that connection with other people.
I think that's great. We talked about, of course, being from California and the differences there. And in the pre-interview or the interview that they did for Making Living Better, one of the things that you said that you missed, so let's talk about that, but it's kind of coming around, is the food.
Yes.
But there's a taco truck.
There's Taco Boss.
Taco
Fernando
Boss.
and I we've become very close.
Okay.
He's become very close to my whole family.
Okay, very good. I got to find this. What's it called? Taco Boss?
Taco Boss, yeah.
Okay.
It's right there in downtown Maiden.
Okay.
And he does California style, authentic Mexican tacos, burritos, things like that. It's delicious.
So you found that.
Yes.
So he was from California, Mexico via California.
Yes.
But so you've got that going. And another thing is that let's face it, that in California, you're from a bigger area. I mean, there was a lot more going on. There were museums and things like this. But here in Catawba County, you've got museums, you've got the symphony, but you also have Charlotte and Asheville, and you said you travel the East Coast. So the proximity is a lot more close for the metro, big metro area, for the big city.
Absolutely. The number one thing that we still talk about to this day is how easy it is to do things around here. Compared to California, you couldn't go anywhere because even if something was 15 minutes away, with traffic, it's an hour.
Right.
Here, if we want to go up and have lunch at Lake Lure, We've done it before. And you can do it in one day. There's
Right.
no issues with that. You're free to go where you like and enjoy getting there, which totally takes the element of stress out of it.
I loved what you said in here that you drive 13 hours in California. You're still in California.
Still there.
And here you drive 13 hours and you're in Maine. Well, I'm one of these guys. I said, that can't be right. But I did, and I checked from San Diego to Eureka. And I was familiar with both of those areas. So I said, okay. And it's 13 hours. It's almost 14 hours. Now, it's a little longer to get to Maine on the map than I would, but not much. I think it's like a half an hour or something. But if you start like border to border, you're exactly right. And that's a great thing about where you're living now is the location. You said you got season tickets for Blumenthal.
Yeah, we do. We go to Sunday matinees, and it's been a great way to introduce our son to theater. And it's been a great way for us to enjoy that element of culture that we really, frankly, didn't get to do in California too much because too many people, always sold out, hard to get to. It was more of an ordeal to go. Here, it's enjoyable.
So you had those maybe in close proximity, but you weren't able to enjoy them because, well, and also cost. I mean, took a look at what it would cost to.
Oh, absolutely.
In that area.
Absolutely.
So, well, I've talked a lot about what I found out here, but I want to ask you because there's so many things that you really do enjoy and you really do like. I'm going to ask you, what is the number one thing that if you had to pick anything, or the things we've talked about, pardon me, or the things that I've missed, what is the number one thing that you tell people about, or if you're trying to say, hey, come on, come in, the water's fine, what do you talk to them about for Catawba County?
Check your stress level at the door.
Yeah.
Compared to living any other metropolitan location that I can think of, you come here and, like I said, the ease that you can do things, even down to government offices and just trying to get things done, people are just so much more willing to help you here. And there isn't the pressure, the time constraint. You don't feel like a cog in a wheel. You feel like a human, like a person. And I think that is what Catawba County is good at doing.
That's one thing that, I don't think that people who are not, who've been here, maybe don't take a look at, but you were in an area where you had freeways, where you had constant stress. You said you were able to let your son play in the yard, and that was not something you could do there. Just these little things that people don't even think about. That absolutely, because the stress level is so much less than it is in a big metro area. But yet, if you want to go to Charlotte and see a ball game, if you want to go to and you want that, then you can come home and sleep in your own bed at night. As you're talking to people, have you had any of your other friends move to the area or visit yet?
Actually, my husband's parents are going to be moving out probably towards the end of summer.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So that's great.
Finally convinced them. And it took one visit for them to realize the benefit of not sitting in traffic. I mean, his stepfather is spending 5-6 hours on the freeway. He's in sales too.
Right.
Every day. Drove around here and got more accomplished in one day than he would have in a week.
Wow.
So it's just the benefit is tremendous.
So it's the father-in-law and the mother-in-law who'll be moving.
Yes, it is.
Okay, well, we'll see how that goes. No.
To be determined.
To be determined. Good thing, bad thing, like that old joke. It's so good to see you again. I'm so glad it was you who came in this morning.
It's good to be here.
Nice to see you again. Jennifer Rowan, sales representative, animal rescue volunteer, school volunteer, so much going on. Yes. Resides in Maiden and is part of Catawba County and making living better. And I'll tell you, you're making living better in our area. And we're so glad that you recognize the advantages of Catawba County, and we're glad that you're here. So nice to have you with us this morning.
Well, thanks for having me.
You're more than welcome.
Thanks for listening. To find more first-person stories from Catawba County, visit makinglivingbetter.com or tune in to themesh.tv each month for a new podcast.
You've been listening to The Mesh, an online media network of shows and programs ranging from business to arts, sports to entertainment, music to community. All programs are available on the website as well as through iTunes and YouTube. Check us out online at themesh.tv. Discover other network shows and give us feedback on what you just heard.